Hi guys! In this video, we are going to review Batman's character to see how it is built up in the Batman movies and what his personality is like. Some of the Batman movies totally ignore Batman's history, psychological build-up, and personality. Batman the movie 1966 is so heedless of Batman or Bruce Wayne's psychological build-up. Of course, comedy doesn't usually contain that kind of content. Then there are those movies that base Bruce Wayne's personality on the way his parents were killed. Right in front of the 10-year-old Bruce Wayne, his parents are killed by the meanest and lowest type of criminal, a mugger who himself is the result of the vast organized crime, unemployment, and poverty that has overtaken Gotham City. This story is taken from the comic books. It's only Batman 1989 that takes this story a little further by involving Jack Napier. This makes the Joker case more personal for Bruce Wayne. This story as Bruce Wayne's past, I think, can only impel him to become a ruthless avenger who wanders Gotham's mean streets looking for an excuse to torture and kill some criminal, because he's made up of hatred and vengeance. But that is not what Batman is. He's gentle, cares for his city and justice. He fights crime more than criminals. To make this personality, that classic story is not enough. I mean, it misses something. Though that's what most Batman movies resort to justify the existence of Batman. Movies that follow up on this story are almost all Batman movies. But the only movie which puts all the pieces of this puzzle together is Batman Begins. This is the movie that builds up Bruce Wayne's personality and character and reasons why Batman emerges from that. But what exactly makes up our hero? He's made up of many elements. One is hatred. Murder of his parents infuses him with hatred. His hatred causes uncontainable anger, which is all directed towards the murderer. He tries to relieve himself from this agonizing anger by vengeance, but instead of killing Joe Chill, he just gets to watch him being murdered, and he enjoys watching that, considering it justice. But not having done it himself keeps the rage alive in him. But Rachel makes him realize that the murderer, Joe Chill, is the outcome of the corruption that has overtaken the whole city by the organized criminals and the authority they have bought, and on top of all, Falcone. For this city, the idealist Thomas Wayne had dreams and has done everything to make them come true. That all redirects his still live anger towards the organized crime which causes the depression and poverty in Gotham City. At this point, a few words from Falcone changes Bruce's path. Now that he knows where to aim his anger, Falcone makes him realize that, on the contrary to what he thinks, he has things to lose, and that he doesn't know anything about the world of criminals, and that when you don't know something, you fear it. Well, that's the truth, and this truth makes Bruce Wayne dive into the world of criminals for 7 years. But anger alone can't pull a Batman out of Bruce Wayne. There is also love and respect. Love of his parents keeps Bruce loyal to their dreams. And his love for Rachel makes him a fan of justice. Besides hatred, anger, and love, there is also his feeling of guilt. Bruce finds himself responsible for his parents' death, and that makes him responsible. For years, he represses his feeling by anger, but finally, he finds his relief in bringing his father's wish for a better Gotham true. And then his fears. Being attacked by bats as a kid causes him to fear bats and even have nightmares about them. Besides bats, he thinks he doesn't fear anything else, not even death. But Falcone persuades him that Bruce Wayne fears two other things. First, to lose a beloved one, Rachel or Alfred, and second, since the world of the criminal is unknown to Bruce Wayne, he fears that. So what does he do? He dives into fears. He starts by journeying into the criminal world to know their kind and overcome his fear. But then again, he realizes two more things he fears. They are his power and his anger. Power and anger together, unharnessed, can be evil. So, to overcome these fears, he has to journey inwards. As Merle Ducard says, to conquer fear, you must become fear. With the League of Shadows, he overcomes his fears. He masters his senses, gains control over his power and anger. And about his worst fear, bats, he becomes one, and to protect his beloved ones, he wears a mask to hide his true identity. There's one more reason why Batman and Bruce Wayne should both exist. Bruce Wayne grows old, becomes frail, can be attacked. He's a man, as vulnerable as a man can be. But Batman is an icon, a symbol that can be eternal. Okay, once again in a chronological order. Whatever that turns Bruce Wayne into Batman is as follows. Number 1. Fear. Being attacked by bats. His first and greatest fear is known. Number 2. Feeling of guilt. The Waynes left the theater because of his fear. That led to their death, which brought his feeling of guilt. Number 3. Anger. His parents' death brings about a lot of anger. Number 4. Vengeance. Anger propels him towards vengeance. Number 5. Love. Rachel opens his eyes on the truth about crime and criminals in Gotham and teaches him the difference between justice and vengeance. Number 6. New fears. Falcone gives him enough reasons to be afraid of organized criminals, losing a beloved one, and also the unknown world of criminals. Embracing fears. Bruce enters the criminal world to conquer his fear. Finding a path. Joining the League of Shadows puts him in a direction. Overcoming fear. He learns that to overcome fear, he should become fear. Controlling anger. By knowing himself, he gains control on his senses and feelings. Becomes a bat. Becomes a bat because bats are his greatest fear, and also to have a new identity that can be a symbol to provoke people to act. Wears a mask to protect his beloved ones. And that's how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe, like, and push the little bell button to be notified of my next video. And leave comments because I enjoy reading them. Bye.